Oh hi! Thanks for watching my video. Sometimes I like to make videos where I just talk about things, sim-related things of course, and I think it's pretty clear from my videos that I'm a huge Sims fan. But sometimes I'd be lying if I said that as a simmer I'd never felt let down. And as much as I love The Sims 4, this part of the franchise seems to be the one that has the most instances of letting the community down. So, in this video we're going to revisit some of the instances where The Sims 4 disappointed the fans. I can't speak for everyone in the community, obviously, but the things that I'll mention are pretty well known and have received considerably negative feedback. So, let's start at the beginning. The release of The Sims 4 base game. This in itself was a disappointment to fans because of how the game was at the time of release. It's been said that the worst thing to happen to The Sims 4 was The Sims 3, and this statement makes a very good point. I've spoken before about how EA were able to bank on sales for The Sims 4 because it was part of an already well-established and well-loved franchise, but of course that goes both ways. People bought The Sims 4 because they know that Sims equals quality. Over time, each Sims game, up until The Sims 4, offered more features on top of existing features, but The Sims 4 didn't do that. Sure, there was the emotion system, but The Sims 4 base game was nothing in comparison to what was offered in previous games for their time. I'm not going to go too far deep into this one because I do have a video that is completely focused on The Sims 4 base game and how it's changed over time, so if you want to know more on that, I'll leave a link in the video description and in the white box above now. But to name the main things that caused upset within the community at the time of release, there was the world map, no longer a 3D map that could move around, now just a still image with lifeless colouring. The life stage of toddlers, something that had been included in The Sims 2 and Sims 3 and had become a life stage many simmers couldn't imagine playing without, was no longer in the game and took over a year after release for them to come back. Swimming pools, another feature that had previously been in the other games, was missing too, along with several other features that would take too long to list right now, so let's just move on to the next one. My first pet stuff. What is there to say on this that hasn't already been said? Basically, if you don't know, the Sims team released the expansion pack of cats and dogs. A pack that went down fairly well, however many simmers were disappointed because once again, The Sims 3 exists. When you release something under a franchise name, people can't help but make comparisons, and in cats and dogs, there was just cats and dogs. Whereas The Sims 3 pets had cats, dogs, horses, unicorns, lizards, snakes, birds, and that's not even all of the pets included. But it wasn't actually cats and dogs that caused a stir in the community, it was the stuff pack that followed after. My first pet stuff was released shortly after cats and dogs, and simmers were pissed. Rightfully so. This pack included furniture that matched the furniture in cats and dogs, so it was fairly obvious that these items should have been included in the expansion, but also, the main feature was the addition of small pets like hamsters and shit, along with clothes and accessories for cats and dogs. So you'd need the cats and dogs packs to fully enjoy all of the content. So they were selling DLC for DLC, which didn't go down well. And to top it all off, it was DLC that had been previously included in the price with The Sims 3 pets. So now simmers were paying a higher price tag for less content than The Sims 3. In February last year, The Sims celebrated their 20th birthday. And how did they celebrate? They gave simmers a free hot tub. This also didn't go down too well. Over the years there were a few objects that became somewhat iconic for The Sims, like the vibrating bed, swimming pools, and the hot tub. So I can see why they went with a hot tub. The trouble was though, there were no hot tubs in base game before then, and a lot of simmers paid for a stuff pack just because it had a hot tub in it. So some felt that this hot tub gift made the stuff pack with the hot tub a bit worthless now. There were also a few people who felt that perhaps something more substantial would have been offered given 20 years is a big birthday. I guess that's more of a case of managing expectations, but either way, people were disappointed. Later that year, EA released the Star Wars themed game pack, Journey to Batuu. This one had fans a bit more divided. Some people felt that this was a good way to bring new people into the game, and they were excited because they like Star Wars. Many other Simmers, some Star Wars fans too, weren't happy that it was being put into The Sims. If they wanted to play Star Wars, they would play one of the many existing Star Wars games, and this move just seemed like an ad for Disney. But putting that to the side, I think the main reason for the disappointment was because Simmers were given a survey to take prior to its release, and within the survey we were asked what kind of packs we'd like to see in the future. Star Wars was on the list but ended up at the bottom, so Simmers made it very clear that they would not be interested in a pack like this. Before the pack was even announced, EA had already been called out for years for not listening to their community. Simmers had been asking for babies, cars, bunk beds, things that were already included at the beginning with older games, and then they got a Star Wars pack. A couple of months later, EA released the Snowy Escape expansion pack, a snowy mountain getaway set in the world of Mount Komorebi, based on Japan. The release trailer caused controversy in South Korea because the trailer showed Sims worshipping a shrine and wearing kimonos with the rising sun flag, which was found to be representative of Japan's colonial rule over South Korea. EA issued a statement on this and changed the trailer. Then, this year, EA released a brand new type of DLC. Kits! Like a smaller version of stuff packs at half the price. And funnily enough, some of the kits include more content than what we got in the earlier stuff packs. This new type of DLC left some Simmers a bit confused. What's the deal with kits? Why now are we getting a new type of DLC several years into the game's run? What does this mean? There's bound to be positive and negative reactions to anything that's new, and kits certainly got a fair share of negativity. The previous games ran for 4 years before we were given a shiny new generation, but the 4th year for The Sims 4 came and went, and there was no sign of a Sims 5. Even now, 7 years after The Sims 4's release, we still don't have a release date for The Sims 5. The release of kits caused quite a lot of confusion. So, does this mean it'll be years before we get The Sims 5? Why else would they release a new type of DLC so late in the game? Or are kits just a way of EA getting rid of unfinished scraps they had been working on, squeezing out every penny they can before quickly pushing out The Sims 5? I personally think that that is exactly what kits are, although I'm sure there are new concepts involved with creating kits. The Sims 5 is currently in development, and my theory is that before it comes out, the Sims team will want to make money, but don't want to invest the additional time in creating larger packs. Kits are considerably quicker and easier to make, so I reckon they're just going to pump them out to make a quick profit before The Sims 5 is released. Of course, I could be wrong. Just a theory. And that's everything I can think of that was done in The Sims 4 that made Simmers feel let down. I may have missed some. I didn't want to go into the disappointment in every single pack because you'd be listening to me drone on for hours, and no one wants that. Despite the things I've listed, The Sims 4 has done very well when it comes to its sales figures. Many people love the game, myself included. I've racked up thousands of hours playing this game, so if I said I didn't like it, I'd be a bold-faced liar. If you like The Sims 4, it's okay. If you don't like The Sims 4, it's okay. It's okay to love something and still acknowledge that you've been left feeling disappointed. I mean, how do you think marriage works? And truth be told, if I were given all my money back and didn't have a YouTube channel, I still would buy this game, and I still would play it for hours. The Sims 4 is a good game, in my opinion. It just doesn't compare to the older games for me, unfortunately. It is good that people talk about it, though. It's good that Simmers air their grievances, because that's the only way it'll get better, and maybe, just maybe, The Sims 5 will have babies and cars and a colour wheel and burglars and all the shit we've been moaning about for ages. I'd love to know what you think about all of this in the comments, so please do feel free to let me know. And what was your reaction to some of the things that I've mentioned? Is there anything I've missed that sticks out in your mind? Let me know. Thanks for watching. I hope you've enjoyed it. If you did, please like and subscribe. You know I love it when you do that. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.